Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I want to discuss this one time about 2 years ago that I made almost $30,000 profit. Not sales, but profits. In one day by a cold calling companies. So, as you know, I have my own business. I do retail a lot, but I say, you know what? Let me go ahead, try some cold calls, call some developers, some hedge funds, some communities, and let me see if I could get some sales going. I told myself, since I import, I get the best price, got a great quality product. So let me drop my margins and I'll make it up in volume. So I'm gonna give a deep discounts, and then let me see what happens. I really do a lot of retail. So as you know, retail has the biggest margins possible. So I took a little profit only, but what I told myself is I'm not gonna sell my current inventory, because when you do a distribution and you do a big sale, you're not gonna sell all your inventory knowing that you're selling retail and you're gonna sell 2 today, 10 tomorrow, and you need to have that inventory. You just can't sell everything, make a little bit, and then have nothing else to sell. So I told myself, all right, I'm gonna make 30%. I'm trying to get a sale, a huge order in, and it's gonna be a special order that they have to wait. So I went ahead, I called my friend that he does a lot of hedge funds, a lot of communities, and I asked him for a few contacts. So I went ahead and called these guys. He gave me about 11, maybe 10 customers. I called them all. I wasted 30 minutes the most on the calls, and it sounded pretty good. About 8 of them told me that no, we get custom made. We get it made with the cheapest product out possible, because it just has to look good and just function for a few years, since they're basically just doing mass production. So that was fine. So I got one call back the next day from this one guy doing a high-end development along the beach. And he told me that he's looking for, I think it was, I don't recall, I think it was about like 100 units that he's been doing, and he needs all this material. So I told him, great, I'm gonna get you the best price, just give me half a day to get you that quote. So as soon as I hung up, I wrote down the quote. But you don't wanna seem hungry, so I waited till the next morning. But I just want to call him right away. But I waited till the next morning. I called them and I told them, hey, I could get you all this for $95,000 sale price. But I could sell this merchandise. If I was to sell it out at my retail store, I could sell it for $300,000. But how long is it gonna take me? A year, 2 years to sell all that? So I gave him the best price. I wanted to get that sale, and it was more than I thought. I was shooting for like a $30,000 order for 30%, to start off. But I said, forget it. 95,000 order, 30% margin, can't beat it. Let's do this. So he said, okay, let me think about it. He called me back a month later. And I told him that, listen, if you need this urgently, I had to special order this. It's gonna take 3 to 4 months to have all this merchandise, and I need to get the deposit before I could even place the order. So if you call me 2 months from now, it's not 2 months already, and then I'll have it in 1 month. No, if you give me the deposit 2 months from now, it's gonna be, 3 months after that. So he called me back a month later. And he said, I want to go ahead and place this order. So I'm like, great. The main thing was the deposit. He didn't want to give a 50% down, but I had to make sure I cover most of my costs just in case of anything. I'm like, look, you got to give me 50% down. And he's like, no, but standard in the industry, we give a 30%. When it's here, maybe we give it a little bit more, and then when you deliver, we give you the rest. I'm like, no, I can't. First of all, I can't afford to take that risk. Second of all, I knew I had the best price possible that I could give him. And the quality, forget it. It was great. For the deal, you couldn't beat it. So if he was gonna take it, he was gonna take it. And it doesn't matter about the deposit or not because the price was there. So after going back and forth, and I didn't settle. I stayed firm on 50%. He's like, okay, fine, we'll give you the 50%. So then I went ahead, the next day when he deposited the money, I went ahead and placed the order. 3.5 months later, I got the order in. I called him, hey, look, I'm ready. Let me ship it to your freight forwarder. I have it. So I went ahead, got everything ready. He wired the money, and my 50% was in the bank. So I got all my money paid. So that was my big story for the whole sale. Very easy. It was just like moving envelopes. Got the merchandise in, pushed it out. I didn't eat up any of my existing inventory because it was just all basically ordered as soon as he, put down the order, but it's all just for him. So the total sales was $95,000. Let's do 30% profit. 30% profit. We have $28,500 one day in the sales just from cold calling. I did give a little bit to my friend that gave me those 11 contacts, but without him I wouldn't have zero. Just in one day I got it. It motivated me to look for more. And from time to time I do call, I get small orders, nothing never as close as this, but as long as I keep trying, you never know what's gonna happen. So guys, I hope this motivates you, pushes you. Don't be afraid to cold call, see what happens, talk to people. If you gotta take a little bit percent of margin, do it. But just make sure you're not eating up your existing inventory. Make sure everything's special order. Make sure you take the deposit that's gonna cover most of the merchandise, most of it. Don't say, oh, I'll take a 10%, I can sell it at my store. No, because it can take a year, 2 years to sell that. Maybe he's a special color that only he likes and nobody else. So you gotta make sure you cover basically most, if not all, your cost. Fortunately I was able to take that risk because I could sell at my store because it was just basic white colors, all that material, and then the rest just sells in the store. So just make sure you do that. Make sure everything's wire transfer too. Don't take credit card because there's always could be chargebacks, could be problems with that. Wire transfer, check, or cash. That's it. Remember, cash is king and there's no going back. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave in the comments stories that you had of one day that you did this big sale out of nowhere. Explain your story. Let's chat. Thank you guys. Until then.